are back. Happy Thursday, the 19th day of March, 2020. I am Dan Kuntz. Thanks for starting today with us here on the NCW Life channel, your local TV station. You had a lot to get to, of course, as you might imagine. Most of the news will be COVID-19 related, but there's a couple other items we want to touch on as we work our way through this Thursday, the last day of winter. We're done with it. Yeah, the vernal equinox is tonight at 8:49. Tomorrow is the first full day of spring, and boy, it feels like spring. The difference between this winter that is about ready to be in the books and last winter was night and day. You know, last winter was cold and it was snowy and it was very wintry, and it took a long time for spring to get going. But spring's here. Yeah, good looking forecast coming your way. A lot of people were out and about recreating yesterday, although the vast majority of people who I saw out and about yesterday, that included me, were adhering to the social distancing 6-foot general rule of thumb, but it didn't keep people from enjoying like the Apple Capitol Loop Trail and some other things. But still, the overall, just as I was running around the Wenatchee Valley yesterday, traffic is very light. Obviously, a lot of people are self-quarantining or working from home if they can, and there's no school, so traffic is about half what it would normally be around the Wenatchee Valley, and I think that's the way it's going to be for quite some time. Lots to get to. Whatever sports we can touch on, we will. Yesterday, the mayor of Wenatchee, Frank Kuntz, dropped by to visit with our good friend Jefferson Robbins on how he's handling this public health crisis from a mayoral perspective, and we'll have that conversation in the back half of this hour. It's a couple minutes after the hour. It's almost sunrise. Let's take you around the valley with our Valley View cameras, courtesy of Localtel's Sky-Fi high-speed wireless setup. Sun's not quite up yet. We're just a couple minutes away. Official sunrise this morning, 7:04. Sunset tonight, 7:13. 12 hours and 9 minutes of daylight. It was a beautiful day yesterday. We had 59 degrees. Our normal high would usually be 55, so it was a little bit warmer than normal. It was a gorgeous day yesterday. We're going to be around 60 today and Friday and Saturday and Sunday. We're in for a beautiful 4-day stretch of weather. I hope you have a chance to get out and enjoy it as we say good morning to the Wenatchee Valley. Just a few high clouds, and that's all we're going to be dealing with for a while. The high pressure ridge is right over. It's not very big, but it happens to be right over the state of Washington, and it's keeping any kind of systems away from us. We like that. So we say good morning to the Wenatchee Valley on this last day of winter. And camera number 2, we say good morning to, it's a slow dissolve to Bill E. Goat, U.S. of A. That thing over there in the far right-hand corner that you see, that bright yellow thing, that's the sun, which is the center of the universe. Although it took Galileo a long time to convince everybody of that. Good morning to our friends in the Okanagan area, our good friends in Bridgeport, Brewster, Twist, Bomac, Okanagan, and all places north of us, and the Methow Valley as well. We got some viewers up there. Gorgeous view, just spectacular. Love that view. Camera number 3. Hello to, Megan, let me think, let me look. Is that the monitor camera? Is that Steins? I should have known that. Hi, Steins Hill, how are you? There's the Cashmere Golf Course right in the middle of your screen. You can see the fairgrounds as we look to the east towards the Wenatchee Valley. So we're seeing Cashmere from a slightly different angle than we normally do. Obviously, the Cashmere Golf Course is open. The golf courses are open, but there's all kinds of things that you can and can't do when you're golfing. Almost all the golf courses are restricting you to 1 rider per cart. Also, you're not allowed to touch the flag stick, and they don't want you to touch the rakes that rake up the sand. When you get into the sand, you just take the ball out of the sand trap. So you can go out and play golf, but it's not quite the real thing. But hey, it beats nothing at all. Good morning, Cashmere. Camera number 4. That's, by the way, thanks for the Steins Hill camera, Megan. That's a good one. Waterville? Yeah, the Waterville camera looking down over the mighty Columbia River. That camera came in handy a few days ago. We were looking for something that was going on. Can't remember what, but we used that camera. Of course, we welcome our friends in Waterville. By the way, if you have business at the Douglas County campus in Waterville, vote ahead, because the odds are you're not going to be able to conduct business. And the Douglas County Board of Commissioners are, from this point forward until things change, they're going to change their meeting location from the Douglas County Courthouse in Waterville down to the 19th Street Annex. We'll talk about that more in depth when we get to the news, but we say good morning to our friends up on the Waterville Plateau at 5 minutes after the hour. On this Thursday, National Weather Service sent us another slide. I'm going to send your way, and there you go. Mild and dry right through the weekend. Look at the lower left-hand corner of your screen. Yep, the vernal equinox is tonight It's the earliest equinox in like 120 years, something like that. Normally it's on the 20th or the 21st, but nope, it's on the 19th today at 8:49 tonight. It will officially be spring. Unfortunately, that's just past my bedtime. I'll probably be inspecting the insides of my eyelids when it actually happens, but we are in for a beautiful stretch of weather until we get late into the weekend. Patriot Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling gives your home a hug, and they sponsor the weather forecast from the National Weather Service. And there you go. No complaints at all. Gobs of gooey good sunshine. As I mentioned before, the high-pressure ridge is not very big, but it is centered right over the state of Washington, so sunshine. I have about 60. That's about 5 degrees warmer than normal. Overnight low tonight, right around 34, is just about normal. We do it again on Friday with just some couple of filtered, there's little shortwave disturbances that come in and move around. So it's going to be filtered sunshine, but sunshine for the most part tomorrow. High about 60, Saturday 61, Sunday 60, gobs of sunshine. And then a system comes in. Not a big system. It's certainly a strong enough system that's going to bring a chance of some clouds and some rain, even some light snow is possible Monday night into Tuesday. Yeah, especially early Tuesday morning, we could actually see a snowflake or two, even though by that time we'll be well into spring. As you can see, we're going to cool down below normal. So enjoy this beautiful weather while we have it, and we're going to have it right through the rest of this work week and right into the weekend. Just what the doctor ordered with everything going on. Get out and enjoy the sunshine. It's just gonna be gorgeous. It's clear in 36, by the way, outside of our studios in downtown Wenatchee. To the passes we go. We're getting to the point where we're not going to be doing too many more pass reports, but for the simple reason there's nothing really to talk about. That's a live shot of I-90, no advisories, no restrictions. You're fine. It's a beautiful day up at the summit of Stevens Pass. Again, traffic is very light on Stevens because, well, the ski resort's closed. So you're up and down and you're good to go. Roadway is bare and wet, couple of patches of frost, and that's all you have to deal with. Blue Pass is fine, roadway is bare and dry, and it's down the road you go. No snow today, no snow Friday, no snow Saturday, no snow Sunday. Next round of snow for the mountain passes that may actually stick to the roadway not until Monday night. So we're in for a long stretch of very pleasant weather, not only for eastern Washington, but up into the mountain passes and either over into the Puget Sound area. It's beautiful everywhere in north central Washington. It is 8 minutes after the hour. We're going to take a break and come back with a lot of news on this Thursday. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley live this morning from Studio 1 in downtown Wenatchee on the NCW Life Channel.
My name is Lacey Haggerty, and I'm a nurse midwife with Columbia Valley Community Health. I love all aspects of my job because it is a profession that's very committed to empowering women to make decisions in their health care that feel best for them. It's incredibly valuable to me as a midwife that I get to take care of women throughout their whole lifespan. I hope to see you at a future visit because I know you'll love having midwifery care.
Badger Mountain Brewing is proud to announce the grand opening of our new kitchen. Come try out our new menu featuring fabulous steaks, prime rib, gourmet burgers, and seafood grilled up by experienced meat master, Chef Galen Goodman. To complement your mouth-watering meal, Badger Mountain Brewing features 14 in-house crafted beers, an alcohol-free root beer infused with 11 different herbs and spices, 3 different ciders, and a great wine selection. Don't miss out on the best meats and the best brews down at Badger Mountain Brewing, located at 1 Orondo Avenue across the tracks from the Pybus Market.
Clear skies, 36 degrees outside of our studios at 9 minutes after the hour, with highs in the lower 60s with lots of sunshine right into the weekend. Here's what's making news. Just 4 days after opening that drive-through coronavirus testing station set up by Confluence Health, they had to close it. The health system shut down the North Emerson Avenue site after it became clear that there wasn't enough available test kits to meet the demand. The station overall was a success. It took a lot of samples. In fact, it even detected, of course, at least one positive case that we know of. But now Confluence Health says those test resources, well, they need to be devoted to those most at risk. And that, of course, includes the elderly and the immune compromised. The drive-through station opened on Saturday, closed down yesterday. More Chelan County public offices are closing in response to the coronavirus pandemic, and Douglas County is restricting public access as well. The Chelan County assessor, they calculate property values, taxation, And the Community Development Department, which regulates construction, zoning, and permits, both will shut down on Monday. The Chelan County Sheriff Office, the Human Resources Office, the Public Works Office, Probation, they've already closed their doors to face-to-face business. Douglas County Commissioners passed a resolution yesterday to close all access to their county offices, and that starts today. Both counties encourage residents to use their online services as much as possible rather than visiting the courthouse complex in your hometown. The Chelan County PUD will no longer disconnect customers for non-payment. The utility said yesterday that while it's under coronavirus restrictions, it will not cut off service for those who can't pay their bill. The grace period will last as long as the PUD's main lobby and public facilities are closed, and the publicly owned utility will work with customers to make structured payments on their bills. Also yesterday, Cascade Natural Gas, they took a very similar step. They're suspending disconnections and applying for a waiver to dismiss customers' late fees. Well, getting outside during the coronavirus quarantine is important, but the Chelan County PUD has cut off access to the kids' play equipment in their public parks. The utility says it's impossible to completely clean and sanitize all the plastic surfaces on their play spaces, so until virus restrictions go away, the climbing structures and slides will have to be gated off. It's one of many such closures put in place since the governor declared a statewide emergency. Safeway and Albertsons stores have set aside special hours for seniors and other people at high risk for the COVID-19 virus. Fred Meyer officials say their leadership team is considering doing something similar. At Safeway and Albertsons stores, seniors, pregnant women, and people with a compromised immune system can shop from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Of course, shopping demands, as you know, have grown exponentially, so a lot of stores in North Central Washington have reduced the hours they're open. That gives employees time to restock the shelves and clean the shelves as well. The Chief Medical Officer for Columbia Valley Community Health spent almost an hour this week answering COVID-19 questions via Facebook. Dr. Malcolm Butler fielded concerned inquiries about the virus on Tuesday afternoon while practicing social distancing at the same time. First on the agenda, flattening the curve of infection so health services aren't overwhelmed.
So when you think about how we have built clinics and how we have staffed hospitals and the distribution of hospitals in this country, it's based on an assumption that maybe 2 to 5% of the population is going to be sick at any given time. So as the hospitals are exactly big enough to take care of the average number of sick people in any given town. We never build hospitals that are too big because they're super expensive. We never hire too many doctors because they're super expensive too. So we have exactly the right amount of facilities and staffing in those facilities to handle the average amount of illness in our community. So what would happen if an enormous epidemic comes through and a whole bunch of people get sick at exactly the same time? And the answer is that the healthcare system would be rapidly overwhelmed. And people say, well, it's not going to be that sick. You know, we hear about people dying, but that really is a small percentage of people and tend to be people with other illnesses. And I myself, I'm young and I'm healthy, so why can't I go out to a bar? Why can't I keep running my business? So I want you to think about two curves. One curve is a steep curve like this, and it's what would happen if we didn't put anything in place, any measures in place to slow down the spread of the infection. Whole bunch of people get sick really quickly, and then they get through it, and it takes about 1 to 2 months for that to happen. The flattened curve comes on more slowly, not nearly as many people get sick, and it goes away in maybe 4 to 6 months instead of 2 to 3 months. The difference between those two is that our healthcare delivery system could probably handle the flat curve.
You can view the entire segment with Dr. Butler by going to the Columbia Valley Community Health Facebook page. Local school districts doing what they can to ease the burden on parents. After all, now they have a bunch of kids at home and kids get hungry. Our very own Eric Granstrom has more.
We've all seen the social images of grocery stores being slammed and empty shelves all around. That doesn't help parents who suddenly need to make sure their at-home kids have lunch. Well, local school districts are stepping in to help. Eastmont Food Services is providing lunch to any child or teen age 18 and under, and they don't even need to be enrolled in the district. Lunches can be picked up one per child at Rock Island, Grant, and Cascade Elementary Schools and Sterling Middle School. The Wenatchee School District Nutrition Services team provided meals to 895 kids on Tuesday. Meals are being provided at all the schools in the Wenatchee District from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., except Valley Academy, Westside High School, and Wenatchee Valley Tech. The Cashmere School District just got the go-ahead and will start offering free breakfast and lunch grab-and-go meals Thursday. Meal distribution will be provided by their bus routes on a 2-hour delay. Curbside meal pickup is available from 10 to 11 a.m. at Vale Elementary School as well. Free lunch programs are also available through Cascade, Chelan, and other surrounding districts. Parents are asked to check their school district web pages for more information. With NCW Life Channel News, I'm Eric Grandstrom.
Thank you, Eric. One more COVID-19 item to pass along to you. Link Transit announced yesterday that all their routes beginning today are fare-free. All the Link Transit routes will be free for all riders for the foreseeable future. And there is one non-COVID-19 story to talk about. We started talking about this yesterday, and that's that human body that was discovered Tuesday off the trails near Horse Lake Preserve. Apparently, that body had been there for quite some time. Our local Sky-Fi cameras watched while investigators were on the scene yesterday. Jason Reinfeld, Chief of Special Operations with Chelan County Sheriff's Office, said the discovery was made by a group of hikers and their dog.
So about 9:30 yesterday morning on March 17th, a group was walking in the area and one of their dogs found some human remains, so they reported it to us. Our detectives responded to the scene as well as patrol deputies, and soon after the remainder of the body was located. We believe they've been there for a while, yes. I couldn't give you a time frame on that at this point. The roadway is closed right now. It's usually closed from late fall or winter until the spring as far as vehicle travel, but people do walk in the area frequently. We haven't been able to confirm identity or gender at this point. It will be under investigation. Our detectives are working on it. We'll be able to gain a lot more information after an autopsy is performed later this week.
Reinfeld said deputies are coordinating with known missing persons cases in the area. That includes that of a missing woman who's been reported missing in Douglas County. Chelan County Coroner Wayne Harris told us that he's working to schedule an autopsy. And those are your headlines at 18 minutes after the hour on this last day of winter. The news team has been very busy indeed, but they're good. They're pros. It's fun to work with people who know what they're doing. And we'll have a newscast for you again tonight at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock. With a preview, here's the anchor, Grant Olson.
Good morning, Dan. Coming up tonight on the NCW Life Evening News, unseasonably warm weather. I'll have all those details coming up in your North Central Washington weather forecast. And Eric Grandstrom will be in as he continues his series, What Does a Sports Guy Do When There's No Sports? That, all the day's news and more coming up tonight at 5, 6, and 10 on the NCW Life Evening News. We hope to see you then. Dan?
Thank you, Grant. I know I watch the news. We invite you to do so as well. And of course, if you have a news tip, if you want to drop us a line, and boy, do you like to get a hold of us. You're doing a great job on that, viewers. We appreciate it. At the bottom of your screen are all the different ways you can get a hold of us. You can go to our Facebook page and go to the Facebook Messenger and drop us a line there. You can email us directly, and you do. Our email address is news@ncwlife.com, news@ncwlife.com. You can go to our website, bookmark it, by the way. We populate the website with all the latest information that you need. But if at the very top of the page, our homepage, you'll see the Contact Us icon. You click on that, you fill out the form, and we'll get it. Or you can just pick up the telephone and give us a call. We're going to take a break, come back with whatever sports we can get into. It's almost all NFL free agency. That's about the only thing that's going on right now in the ever-widening world of sports, which has gotten smaller. Also, we'll talk about, we have the obscure holiday coming your way today in history, some celebrity birthdays. Mike McNally's got an opinion, and Jefferson Robbins and his sit-down with Wenatchee Mayor Frank Kuntz. All of that's coming up between now and the top of the hour. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life Channel.
Club Crow Bar and Grill in Cashmere is your place for famous blues, brews, and barbecue. We are your one-stop bar and grill, serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner 7 days a week. Hi, Justin here, owner of Club Crow Bar and Grill in Cashmere. Looking for a fun night out? Join us at Club Crow. We have live bands to rock the night away, comedy to make you laugh, and if that's not enough, we have poker every Monday and Wednesday night. Club Crow in Cashmere has it all. Check out our Facebook event page for dates and times. Club Crow Bar and Grill in Cashmere, the coolest place in town.
I'm Jenny Rojanasatian, and this is Guada TV. Every week we will be bringing you a first look at North Central Washington business, tech, and education news. You'll hear from local influencers and innovators who live right here in the Valley. Together, we'll discuss hot topics, current events, and resources that can support your business, our schools, and this community. Join me every week, and let's get inspired.
21 minutes after the hour on this last day of winter. If you're just joining us, we have clear skies and 36 degrees outside of our studios. We'll have lots of sunshine all over north central Washington. Highs will be just about the 60-degree mark right through the weekend. Let's talk about sports. Seahawks dipped into the free agency well, and what did they pull out of their hat? A former Seahawk. You remember Bruce Irvin, our draft pick back in 2012? He's back. This is according to the NFL Network's Ian Rappaport. Irvin will return to the team that drafted him with the 15th overall pick out of West Virginia. He played, of course, 4 years in Seattle. He left for Oakland for a couple of years, and he went to Atlanta for a season. Last year, he was with the Carolina Panthers. In 119 career games, Irvin has recorded 301 combined tackles, 52 sacks, and 3 interceptions. According to ESPN's Adam Schefter, the Seahawks are also bolstering their offensive line. Schefter reporting that Seattle is reaching an agreement on a 2-year, $11 million deal with the former Jets offensive tackle, Brandon Shell. And additionally, ESPN's Jordan Schultz is reporting that Seattle will be signing offensive tackle Kedrick Obehi to a 1-year deal worth a maximum $3.3 million. So about the only sports that's out there right now is NFL free agency. Major League Baseball, they still don't know what they're going to do yet. They keep moving that start date back. The commissioner of Major League Baseball is Rob Manfred, and he says he had hoped for an April 8th opener. That's not going to happen now. We're looking at sometime in May or even June.
The biggest topic is obviously with the CDC announcement. We're not going to be playing April 9th. We're not going to announce an alternate opening day at this point. We're going to have to see how things develop. I think the commitment of the clubs is to play as many baseball games in 2020 as we can, consistent with the safety of our players and our fans. Secondly, we did have a conversation about ongoing operations in club facilities. Clarified, emphasized with the clubs that there should be no organized activities in the camps. We did agree with the MLBPA that spring training sites would remain open, but it's the thought there is with a skeleton crew, really to give players some place to use a gym as opposed to being forced out into a public gym and the like. And we're really encouraging players to make a decision as to where they want to be over a extended period of time and get to that location as soon as possible.
So just like everything else, there's just a lot of unknowns in the world of sports. Mariner players and coaches, they've been sent home from Peoria. They were seen Monday exiting the facility with their bags and equipment, heading into their cars and driving off to wherever they were driving off to. Major League Baseball still, of course, on hold. Speaking of baseball, the West Coast League continues preparations for their 16th season. They're hoping to get going with league games on June 5th. In a statement this week, the Summer Collegiate League said it is monitoring public health announcements and is complying with guidelines and regulations with the suspension of baseball throughout college this spring. What's offered by the West Coast League and similar leagues may be the only baseball these collegians will get to play this year. The Wenatchee Apple Sox moving forward with the belief that their season opener, June 4th at home against the Highline Bears, is still a go. And of course, with pretty much everything sports related, at least competition on the field and on the courts is not happening. Eric has to figure out what to do, so it's his continuing series of, well, a sports guy with no sports. No problem.
So what's a sports guy do when there's no sports? Well, you make up your own games, like paperclip basketball. It's really easy. All right, so here you go. You take some tape and you put it down on the table. Ask mom and dad if it's okay to put it on the dining room table first of all. So you put that down. You've got 3 cups. You got 1 point, 2 point, and 3 points, just kind of the opposite of what normally is for basketball. And then you got 5 paper clips. And the idea, get the paper clips into the cups and keep score. There we go. And you shoot for 1. Oh, off the mark. Shoot for 2. Oh, there's 1 point. Okay, I'm gonna shoot for 2 points. Oh, off the mark, no good. And I'll shoot for another 2 point. Oh, got it. Okay, now here's a 3-point shot. Oh, just short. Now, if you want to make it a little more sporting and kind of more basketball-ish, you can take some different sized mugs and make the shallower or the narrow sized opening a 3-point shot and the larger one a 2-point shot. Try the ping pong ball first. Of course, this means you're gonna have to chase it around too. So 3-point shot. Oh, not quite. 3-point shot with the golf ball or with the ping pong ball. Oh, 2-point shot. So what's a sports guy do with no sports? You make up your own games, sort of basketball-ish. Try it yourself. Send me what you make up, and maybe we'll include it on the air.
And those are just some of the games that Eric is playing. Anyway, that's sports at 26 minutes after the hour. 5 different obscure holidays I'm going to choose from. Today's National Poultry Day. Love my chicken. Today's National Chocolate Caramel Day. Trying to stay off the food ones for a while. National Certified Nurses Day. We love our certified nurses. National Farm Rescuer Day. They're all good causes, but no, this could not have come at a better time. Today is National Let's Laugh Day. Always celebrated on March 19th. Encourage people to laugh. I'm a generally happy person, as things be. I laugh quite a bit. Of course, laughing has any number of health benefits and social benefits. We could use that right around now. Medical studies have shown just a few minutes of laughter each day reduces blood pressure. It increases immunity in your body. It boosts your heart rate. Watching something funny or reading something funny before you sleep can help people sleep better and longer. Laughing burns calories. A good 15-minute laughing session, like if you're watching a really funny movie or something like that, can burn up to 50 calories. And people who laugh often and seem generally happy are seen by everybody else as generally happy. So laugh out loud for a few minutes. Watch a very funny movie. Everybody could use a very funny movie. Tell funny stories. Tell jokes. So, and by the way, this is an interesting fact. It is true, in case you're curious, children laugh more than adults. In fact, children laugh a lot more than adults. An average toddler laughs about 400 times a day. An average adult laughs about 20 times a day. We could learn something from that. Happy National Let's Laugh Day, okay? I'm on board. I'm on board that. Of course, I always am. What am I thinking about? Today in history on this 19th day of March. This is the 157th anniversary of the SS Georgiana, which was the most powerful ship in the Confederate Army during the Civil War. On its very maiden voyage, it was loaded with munitions, medicines, merchandise, the whole 9 yards, worth over $1 million in 1863 money. And Georgiana, on its very first voyage, was destroyed by the Union, a harbinger of things to come for the Confederacy. But oddly enough, on March 19th, 1965, a teenage diver who'd been looking for the Georgiana all these years finally found it. And he got to keep the stuff that he found, which was valued at $50 million. Yeah. So the Georgiana was destroyed and sank 157 years ago today. And then a guy by the name of Lee Spence, who was a teenager, exactly 102 years after it went down, the wreck was finally discovered and all the stuff inside of it. Lee Spence got to keep most of it anyway. He was very persistent. He goes, it's got to be out here somewhere. He finally found it. So the Georgiana went down to her demise 157 years ago, and then 102 years after that, they found it. Well, a kid did anyway. Lee Spence happened on both of these dates on March 19th. March 19th, 1966, a seminal day in the history of American sports. Texas Western became the first college basketball team to win the national championship against the all-white University of Kentucky Wildcats, coached by Adolph Rupp. And they did it, starting 5 African Americans. They defeated Kentucky, and Texas Western wins the 1966 NCAA men's basketball tournament. And on March 19th, 1979, 41 years ago today, the United States House of Representatives, there's Tip O'Neill, the Speaker, begins broadcasting its day-to-day business for the first time ever on C-SPAN. Yep, happy birthday to government on TV. You see Tip O'Neill there on the screen. Of course, the Democrats were in control of the Congress back in 1979. So Tip O'Neill and all of the camera people who worked for C-SPAN were in the House of Representatives gallery. Tip O'Neill said, now, whenever a Democrat is speaking and there's nobody in the chamber, I want you to do a nice tight shot so all they see is the congressman speaking to the American people. But if it's a Republican, I want you to do a big wide shot and I want you to pan all over the empty chamber. The Republicans weren't happy, and all Tip O'Neill said, well, when you guys get to run Congress, you can do it. Happy birthday to that. 31 minutes after the hour. Speaking of birthdays, outside of John Marshall, the most significant Supreme Court Chief Justice of the United States in this history, was born in the state in 1891. Earl Warren, who served, of course, who was elected to 3 terms as governor of California, served a little over 8 years, and eventually would be appointed as the 14th Chief Justice of the United States. He was born in the state in 1891. His story is a fascinating story indeed, and of course, he is most well known for his long tenure as the Chief Justice of this country from 1953 to 1969. Brown v. Board of Education, Gideon v. Wainwright, Reynolds v. Sims, Miranda v. Arizona. I don't have time to explain all these historic Supreme Court decisions. Read them for yourself. Outside of John Marshall, the most significant Chief Justice in this country's history, was born in the state in 1891. This will make you feel old. John McClane is 65 years old today. Bruce Willis, of course. He's 65. Born in Germany, by the way. I don't know if you knew that or not. He still holds German citizenship. Moonlighting, Die Hard, the whole Die Hard franchise, Pulp Fiction, The Sixth Sense. I don't know what Bruce is doing nowadays. He's 65. He's collecting Social Security, I suppose. Happy 65th to Bruce Willis. And one of the great baseball pitchers currently out there, Clayton Kershaw, is 32 years old today. 8 times an All-Star, one of the few pitchers to win the Most Valuable Player Award. He did that back in 2014. 3 times a National League Cy Young Award winner. He won the pitching Triple Crown. He's won Gold Gloves. He was the National League winner in wins, National League leader in ERA, strikeouts. He's a great pitcher. Clayton Kershaw of the Los Angeles Dodgers is 32 years old today. I love to watch him pitch. He is a master of what he does. 33 minutes after the hour. Going to take a break. Mike Magnotti has an opinion, no surprise there. And then Jefferson Robbins, our reporter, had a chance to sit down and talk with the mayor of Wenatchee, Frank Kuntz, about how the city of Wenatchee is handling the coronavirus pandemic. We'll have that conversation when we come back. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life Channel.
Green Motion e-bikes have rolled into Wenatchee. We've got fun, affordable e-bikes for the whole family. Portable e-bikes that fit right in the trunk of your car. Fat tire mountain bikes plus unique vintage style bikes you won't find anywhere else. Get some exercise with pedal assist or just cruise up to 20 miles per hour with the throttle. Starting under $1,000, Green Motion e-bikes are affordable fun for the whole family. Green Motion e-bikes is located right downtown on the corner of Palouse and Wenatchee Avenue.
The 2 hottest pickups in America are at Town Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. First, the Ram 1500 with back-to-back Truck of the Year awards from Motor Trend, and now the Car and Driver 10 Best list for 2020. They call it a luxury sedan with pickup capabilities. Ram is on a roll now with 3rd-generation eco-diesel power. Next up, the Jeep Gladiator, also a 2020 10 Best model based on the new award-winning Jeep Wrangler. It has options and capabilities that no other truck can offer. 2 more reasons when it comes to buying a truck. There's no reason to leave town. Why run all over town when you can get the financial services you need under one roof? The location is 521 Chelan Street right here in Wenatchee. Accounting solutions for success. Insurance from trusted choices. Real estate, the power of the edge. Personal, professional, preferable. It's all right here. Get the edge on your financial needs. Now available in Chelan as well. Get more information at augustedge.com.
Hi, this is Brian Snyder with Black Rock Asphalt Services here in Wenatchee, your local Black Rock seal coat company. Have you looked at your driveway or parking lot lately? Is it gray and oxidized? Does it have cracks that have not been taken care of? Or do you have striping that is pretty much non-existent? Please give us a call locally here, 509-665-9769. Learn more at blackrockasphaltsealcoating.com.
It's our fabulous clearance time at Collins in downtown Wenatchee. Savings up to 75% off. It's our famous buy one, get one free sale. That's right, buy one clothing sale item and get the next one of equal or lesser value free. Brands like Freibold, French dressing, rib top, Icelandic, jackets, vests, tops, jeans, and dresses. We have boots at 50% off, select Brighton and Lotus 50% off, handbags and jewelry. Come in ASAP for the best selection at Collins, where fun meets fashion in downtown Wenatchee.
Family roles change with time. You may find yourself being an unpaid caregiver to a loved one. Caregiving can be rewarding, but also stressful. Taking care of yourself is vital. Aging and Adult Care of Central Washington has low or no cost services for unpaid caregivers, such as in-home support, care supplies, and counseling. Connect in your local area by calling Aging and Adult Care at 800-572-4459 and mention you're interested in caregiver support.
This is Mike Mad Dog McNutty, and everybody's entitled to my opinion. Like I've said before, I'm a regular churchgoer, so I run into this guy who I used to see at church, and as I haven't seen him for a while, I asked him, where's he been? Is everything okay? He said, I stopped coming, and the reason was I've been going there to church for a year, and no one has ever invited me out to lunch. Now, what kind of reason is that? Was he going to church to arrange lunch dates? And what I should have asked him is, did you ever invite anyone to lunch? Wouldn't it be a good idea if maybe we should do unto others what we would have them do to you, rather than expect people to do to you just because you happen to be there? This is Mike Mad Dog McNutty, and that's my opinion.
You love to help others. You need a solid career. You can have it all with help from Charter College. Our 10-month medical assistant program prepares you to work in healthcare settings like physician offices, rehab centers, and clinics. You'll learn to take patient vitals, assist with exams, administer injections, and maintain medical records. When you're ready to launch a rewarding healthcare career, visit chartercollege.edu, because we work to get you to work.
AC Checker has new owners who put customer service first. When you have to get there on time, call fast, friendly, reliable AC Checker, 663-TAXI. AC Checker has the industry's only on-time or it's free guarantee. Conditions apply. Call AC Checker, 663-TAXI to schedule your cab or schedule online at acchecker.com. Call American Classic Taxi, 663-TAXI. That's 663-8294.
It's estimated that 1/3 of Americans do not have a financial plan. At D.A. Davidson, their advisors are working to change that because they understand the importance of planning for the future. At D.A. Davidson, they believe in partnering together to build a strategy tailored to your needs. They spend the time and have the knowledge to help keep your financial future on track. Let D.A. Davidson Financial Advisors of Wenatchee put the strength of advice to work for you. Join us for Street Talk and Other Stuff with Mike McNutty on the NCW Life Channel. This former police sergeant is plugged into not only the world of the streets, he's an actor and connoisseur of the arts. So join Mike and his guest for, Street Talk and Other Stuff. Mondays at 10 a.m., Tuesdays and Thursdays at 2 p.m., and Wednesdays at 5:30. It's Street Talk and Other Stuff with Mike McNutty on the NCW Life Channel.
When Mike leaves town, it's a little scary. You never know who might be outside. But we feel safer inside knowing our home is being monitored by a local company. I can check our alarm from just about anywhere. So when we get home, I know it's safe.
Protect your family and save money with a local company. Switch your current security monitoring to Guardian services from LocalTel. Call Guardian Security from LocalTel now or visit localtel.net to learn more.
And welcome back to 40 Minutes After the Hour. So how does the city of Wenatchee conduct business during a public health crisis? Well, the doors of City Hall may be locked, but Mayor Frank Kuntz says his government is still working to serve its citizens. The mayor dropped by our NCW Live studios yesterday and sat down with our very own Jefferson Robbins to talk about what's it like to be the mayor in this time of crisis.
City Hall is closed, and there's a limitation of what kind of access people have. Can you tell me a little bit about what the city has decided to do at this point?
Yeah, so obviously things have been very fluid over the last week or so. Yesterday morning in a meeting with department heads and some of our city council members, in talking with sort of how the employees reacting, the fact that the federal government had shut down Social Security in our office on the second floor, and USDA, who's on the third floor, also closed. We were literally the only, at least close to the public, we were the only office that was sort of open to the public. And so we really thought about it, and staff was getting sort of nervous about dealing with folks in the public and taking money and payments and working very close with folks with the 6-foot social distancing that has been recommended. So for us, we didn't feel like we could just close City Hall. We felt like we had to close sort of all city offices to the public. So we have closed City Hall to the public, our police station to the public, and our Public Works Service Center to the public. So folks can still pay their utility bills online. You can still mail us a check. If you're one of those that normally pays with cash, we will wait until we get through this, and then we're not going to charge you any sort of penalties or interest if you pay late, for instance. In terms of getting building inspections and those sorts of things done, that office is still open. They're out doing inspections. Don't expect them to get very close to you when they do that. We could still issue building permits. We could do those online. If someone was out there and we had a meeting, we would open the door for them and allow them to come in. But for the most part, sort of regular public in and out, we have prohibited that in all of our city buildings at this point.
How would the city council handle things like public meetings and the city commissions and so forth? You have to gather a number of people, and then you have to welcome another number of people in.
Yeah. So at this point, we have also canceled all what we call non-essential meetings. So planning commissions, parks commissions, those will not be meeting. The city council, generally speaking, tomorrow night would have a work session. We have decided not to have the work session. Those aren't necessarily critical to the day-to-day operations of the city. We will meet the following Thursday, so we meet the second and the fourth Thursdays. We'll meet the fourth Thursday in a public session. Council members can call in if they wish. We will allow a certain number of folks into the audience. We will broadcast it in a way where folks can ask us questions online if they need to. So the state has given us some leeway to be able to do that. There are things and contracts and things that the city needs to continue to do. So I don't want us to not meet as a governing body for a long period of time. So at this point, we will continue to meet until something changes. Something comes from either the health department, the governor, or someplace else that makes us rethink that. We do have a couple committee meetings that are continuing to meet. So we have a Public Works Committee that met yesterday. We have a Public Safety meeting that meets tomorrow, and our Finance Committee will meet. And I think the reason I really want those to meet is we usually get 2 council members and myself, and so I can sort of get the feel of what the council is thinking, especially as we start looking at financial issues with the city. What projects aren't we going to do, because we fully expect sales tax to really take a hit to the city government coffers. What can we do to help folks in our community? The mayor doesn't want to be out there doing that without the consensus of the council, or at least some of the council members, to say, hey, we talked with the mayor and we agreed with this sort of approach. And then I've been frankly doing emails. I've emailed the council each of the last 2 days with just sort of the entire council. Here's sort of what we're thinking. Here's sort of where things are going. Here's some decisions that we've decided to make. So I emailed them about closing city offices and some other stuff. So I'm just trying to keep them all abreast while they're trying to do their normal lives and figure out what that life looks like as well for each of them individually. So just trying to juggle all of that.
Does the city have the capacity for virtual public meetings where members can dial in from their homes or meet in some other non-physical space?
Yeah, I think that what the MRSC has told us is we have to be able to provide that as an option. So our IT folks are figuring out a way to provide that. We may actually even have to broadcast the meeting some point where people can see it. And I know that I think you guys stream it on FaceTime Live or something. So we're going to figure out something for a week from Thursday when we have our first public meeting is how to make that sort of happen. It will miss the face-to-face part of it. I hope most of the council members show up, and we're probably 3 feet apart, so we may have to rearrange how we look at the table. But again, we still have to conduct business, and so it's important that to the extent that we can do things business as usual, we will.
Other municipalities, East Wenatchee comes to mind, Chelan County comes to mind, have issued emergency proclamations that change their structure of doing business, and in the mayor's case, give Mayor Crawford in East Wenatchee power to take additional steps if she sees fit. Does Wenatchee have anything in place like that, or will it in the future?
So we haven't done anything yet. Our attorney drafted something yesterday for my consideration today. I haven't got up there to get the final review of it yet. I would fully anticipate that in the next 24 hours we will do something similar to what East Wenatchee and the counties have done. What they really do is they give the mayor a little bit more authority than our general city code or our policies would allow us to do. So for instance, Tuesday was water cutoff day for the city. So if you're more than a couple months behind on your water, we would go, we turn off water. I mean, we're running a utility business and we can't gift public funds to folks. So we don't have any choice but to do that. So we've decided to not do that for a period of time. So that's in violation of city law and in violation of city policy. So I will need emergency powers in order to do that. And it's those sorts of things that you and I might look at and say, well, that's just common sense. Yet in order for me to be able to have the authority to do that, I need the council to ratify some sort of an emergency declaration. So that's getting drafted. I'm assuming that will happen in the next 24 hours or so. And then I will have some powers to be able to sort of help sort through what some of that stuff looks like.
So that deferment of late fees on water and utilities, that's something you want to undertake in light of the economic harm that people might be suffering from having their place of business closed or having to stay at home?
Yeah, I think there's all of that, right? It's first of all, if you go to pay your water bill today and you normally pay it with cash and you can't get into City Hall, then why should I penalize you $10 for being late, right? That doesn't really make any sense. Okay, so it's that sort of stuff. Those people whose water would be cut off tomorrow yesterday were already having some financial hardships. And so I think what this would do would delay that time as we get through this at some point, and we hope that we do. We will go back and we will make them all pay their utility bill just like you and I have to, because it's, again, a gifting of public funds for me to say, well, Bob doesn't have to pay his utility bill, but Jefferson does. So now whether we have the penalties and the interest, we'll waive those where it's appropriate to get folks back up to speed. We've been told from our lawyers in the past that we're not allowed to do that, right? You have an ordinance and you have rules and regulations, you need to adopt by those. So again, this gives us flexibility to go outside of those rules a little bit to help folks.
Let me ask you a question unrelated to coronavirus. Steve King left the city organization just last month, I believe it was. Where are you in finding somebody who can replace him, fill his shoes, and hopefully also be the kind of utility player that we knew Steve to be? Yeah,
so Steve was a great utility player. There wasn't any place that I couldn't send him, or quite frankly, Allison, that didn't represent the city extremely well. So we've lost a couple of our head assistant coaches, if you will, and they're going to be difficult to replace. I think with Steve's position, at least my initial reaction has been, I think we're going to sit and wait for a little while. He was doing economic development is what his title was, and most cities our size don't really have an economic development director, but like you say, he could sort of bat a lot of different places. And so, as we look sort of forward and we go, well, we're attempting to get this infra grant from the federal government for Confluence Parkway, and if we manage to get a $75, $80, $85 million grant from the federal government, in order to execute that contract, we might need a fairly specialized sort of engineering kind of guy. someone who does major traffic bridge projects, and we might have to hire someone like that. And so we may end up going in that direction and say, let's hire someone to execute the Confluence Parkway project and then think about economic development a year and a half or 2 years down the road. So we will sort of juggle the need. He has a economic development manager, Matt Shells, has been working for him for a while, so Matt will get some of that burden. Rob Jammerman out of Public Works will get some of his work. Laura Merrill, the new Executive Services Director, will get some of his work. I've already got some of his work. So we're going to sort of spread it out a little bit, and then we'll re-meet as a team again in another month or so and see if we feel like we need to replace, or can we just look at a different position and try to, some of this is because we've got so much going on, there's part of me that says, let's just execute on what we have. We've got Confluence Parkway perhaps. We've got North Wenatchee Avenue, major improvements at that intersection, the WashDOT building. We have, we're going to remodel City Hall. We have Widener perhaps will be building some apartments down here, and there's a city element to that. Maybe we just need to sit down and execute a whole bunch of stuff for the next 3 or 4 years. And but that's sort of what at least we're thinking right now.
Mayor, is there anything else you think that people in Wenatchee should know from you as the city tries to deal with this public health issue?
All I would say is, we live in a really remarkable community. This community does great things. This community will bounce back from this. I want us to be known as sort of leaders, not only statewide, but in the country, about how to do things, right? When your business, when the governor asks your business to shut down, you shut it down out of public health, out of respect to your neighbor and other businesses. We treat everybody equally. We're all in this together. We'll come out of it stronger, but listen to your public health officials, wash your hands, stay healthy, eat healthy, exercise, do all the things that you would normally do to stay healthy, and we'll walk ourselves through this, and we'll come out of it, soon, hopefully in a matter of months. But we can do this. We got this. We just gotta do what we're told to do right now.
My name is Brian Thorpe. I own Global Car Care in Wenatchee and have been here for about 25 years.
Brian started Global Car Care as Brian's automotive alternative on Orondo Street.
Some customers were following Brian since Brian's automotive time.
No, we're just grateful to be part of this community. This is where I grew up. We want to do our part to be a valuable part of this community. We want to thank you for trusting our business for 25 years.
It's our fabulous clearance time at Collins in downtown Wenatchee. Savings up to 75% off. It's our famous buy one, get one free sale. That's right, buy one clothing sale item and get the next one of equal or lesser value free. Brands like Freiburg, French dressing, Ribkopf, Icelandic, jackets, vests, tops, jeans, and dresses. We have boots at 50% off, select Brighton and Lotus 50% off, handbags and jewelry. Come in ASAP for the best selection at Collins, where fun meets fashion in downtown Wenatchee.
Doghouse Motorsports just won Best Motorsports Store for the 6th year in a row. Is it the great facility? Is it the fantastic products? Or is it?
I'm Bobby.
And I'm Tabor.
I'm Mike. And I'm Glenn.
Hi, I'm Todd.
I'm Jeff.
And this is the Doghouse Service Team.
Hi, I'm Dee.
And I'm Dwayne.
And I'm Kathy.
Come on in and experience the Doghouse.
Are you in the doghouse?
Hey folks, Carrie from Blueberry Hills. A chill is in the air and it's a perfect time for some old-fashioned comfort food like our amazing Eggs Benedict, chicken fried steak, French dips, soups made from scratch, or fruit pies fresh from the oven. The crowds might be gone, but we're still here for you folks. So bring an appetite and a friend to Blueberry Hills in Manson, where you pick, you sit, you eat, and you visit. Open Wednesday through Sunday from 8 to 3. wildaboutberries.com.
And we are back with just a few minutes left in this edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on this Thursday. Just a couple of quick reminders I wanted to get through in case you haven't heard already. Just 4 days after they opened the drive-through coronavirus testing station that was set up by Confluence Health, they had to close it yesterday. The health system shut down their North Emerson Avenue site when it became clear there weren't going to be enough available test kits to meet the demand. Overall, the station was a success. They took samples from dozens of patients. They actually detected at least one positive case, but now Confluence Health says those test resources need to be devoted to those most at risk of serious illness. That, of course, includes the elderly and the immune compromised. The drive-through station opened on Saturday, and it closed down yesterday. And speaking of closed down, just about every governmental office out there is closed to the public for drop-in and face-to-face visits. More Chelan County public offices are closing. The Chelan County Assessor will be closing. The Chelan County Sheriff's Office has already closed their public spaces. Human Resources in Chelan County, Public Works, Probation. This has followed, Douglas County followed suit. They issued a state of emergency yesterday, so their county offices are closed. They're asking people in Douglas County to use their online applications and services as opposed to visiting the courthouse in Waterville. It just makes common sense. We'll have more on this, of course, with the news at 5 o'clock tonight. We're going to take one more quick break and have your weather forecast on this, the last day of winter. The weather is right around the corner. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley.
This is Caitlin Hedershe, the producer of the NCW Life magazine. Each week, I'm bringing you a look behind the scenes of the faces, places, and events that make North Central Washington the place we call home. Tune in every weekday for an in-depth look at a new topic each week. From local artists in their studios to businesses breaking barriers that might surprise you and everything in between. Join me on the NCW Life magazine right here on the NCW Life channel.
One more item of business to get to on this last day of winter, this Thursday, the 19th day of March, and that's the weather forecast. Are you ready for the vernal equinox? It's tonight. Yeah, as early as it's been in over a century. Normally, the vernal equinox, first day of spring, is on the 20th or even the 21st, but it's on the 19th this year. It's tonight, of course, at 8:49. From that point forward, winter is gone, spring is here, and we have spring-like weather, very mild, very dry right through the weekend. For many locations, you're going to see highs in the 60s, and that, my friends, includes us. We're not going to be well into the 60s, but we're going to be bumping past the 59-degree mark, which to me is good enough. What's going on? There's a ridge of high pressure right over the state of Washington. It's not a big dome of high pressure, but it happens to be perfectly located for us. That photo that you see, that could very well have been taken from my front yard yesterday afternoon. My tree is starting to bud out already. So from the National Weather Service, let's go ahead and take a look at that forecast one more time. And it's all smiles. Sunshine today, high of about 60 degrees. As a point of reference, we almost hit 60 yesterday. We had 59. Our normal high this time of the year, about 55 degrees. Our normal overnight lows are about mid-30s, 35 or 36, and that's about where we're going to be for the overnight lows. So 60 today, 34 or so for the overnight low tonight. Sunshine again tomorrow, and a high of about 60. We'll dip down to 34 degrees. For the overnight low, we're at 35, by the way, right now, outside of our studios. Sunshine Saturday, warmer still, not by much, but still 61. I'll take that. 35 for the overnight low. One last blast of sunshine Sunday, and then late Sunday afternoon, a system that's going to be strong enough to actually bring in some clouds and maybe even a raindrop finally arrives late Sunday night. By the time we get to Monday, it's going to be cloudy and a little bit cooler with a high of 56 degrees. Monday night, mostly cloudy, 34 for the overnight low. Tuesday night, believe it or not, we could actually see a snowflake. You can see it's going to cool down to only 52 degrees by the time we get to Tuesday. Back to sunshine on Wednesday. But again, sunshine for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Winter is almost out of here. Spring is almost here. It could not have come at a better time. Tomorrow, Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, we had a chance to go down and visit with Leslie Freitag at the Pybus Public Market. Of course, Pybus Public Market is a place where a lot of people go to eat. Restaurants, going to be closed, obviously, for dine-in, sit-down dining. You can't do that, but almost every restaurant, if not all the restaurants at the Pybus Public Market are going to be open for either curbside pickup or dash and go. So you can't eat inside the Pybus, but you can certainly partake in the fine restaurants there. So we had a chance to visit with Leslie, get an update on how the Pybus Public Market is handling the COVID-19 outbreak. That'll come your way on Friday. And on Monday, because we always do this 4 times a year with Bonnie Orr, My good friend Bonnie Orr, she comes by and visits me on the equinoxes and on the solstices. And since the vernal equinox is today, Bonnie Orr will be dropping by on Monday to talk about the do's and don'ts of spring gardening. It's getting that time of the year. Everybody have a fantabulous and safe Thursday. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.